So here's how to get catalogs in the VO to overlay onto images within Finder Chart. We're going to do this specifically for our targets. So you could do it with a single position, but we're going to search on multiple positions because that's what I suspect you're going to be doing. So we need to go find the files. So I have the box drive actually mounted to my computer, and you probably have the files copied in hopefully the same kind of format. So if you go to the catalogs folder and then the just objects positions folder. So these catalogs have just the name and the right ascension and declination and the why is this object here column. It doesn't have the full 40 columns or whatever it is for all of the cross matches. And you might as well do it, just when you're doing the search, you might as well upload just the one with the positions because that's really all it needs. We want the .tbl file, the IPAC table format, not the regions file. We want the table file. Open. All right, so we're going to change this to be 30 arc seconds. I'm going to turn off Sloan because we don't need Sloan. Let's increase this to 15 arc seconds just for fun. Okay, search. So it's going to go load our catalog in here, and if you chose the one that has 40 columns, you'll have 40 columns, but I chose the one that has just, the few columns, the bare minimum columns that we need here. And then it's got the 2MAS catalog that it found and the WISE catalog that it found here, and it's overlaid them on the images here. So now what we want to do is get the UKIDSS catalog in here. So I'm going to click on the 2MAS image, and I'm going to click on the first one in the list here. So I'm going to go to the Catalogs tab. And we can search, of course, catalogs at URSA. We can load our own catalog from disk. So if you want, you can load in the full working catalog that has all of the columns if you want. But let's go to the VO catalog tab. Now it's going to inherit the position corresponding to whatever target it is that you most recently clicked on. So if you pick a different target out of the list, it will pre-fill that position accordingly. 500 seconds really is pretty big. So I'm going to put in 30 arc seconds here. Now, in order to find the UKIDSS repository within the virtual observatory, you have to first, unless you know the URL, you have to first type in the keyword. So type in UKIDSS. Now, I don't know about you, but I sometimes mistype this pretty consistently as UKIDDS, but you really have to do DSS, otherwise it won't find what you're looking for. Search registry, and it will go talk to the VO registry and find all of them that involve the word UKIDSS. So extragalactic, DR7, now we have DR8. DR8 is their most public release, but we don't know which section of the sky our target is in for that release. Go down a little bit further and you see UKIDSS DR6 Galactic Plane Survey. We're going to click on the Use link that's immediately to the left for the DR6 Galactic Plane Survey because our object is in the galactic plane. What it's going to do is it's going to pre-fill the cone search URL here. And then what the computer will do is take the position and the radius that we've asked for and append it in the right syntax for the cone search URL. Search. And it comes back with a tab here that has the catalog that it just found, but it hasn't overlaid it yet. So if we click on the JBand image, it's outlined in orange, we go to the Layers tab here and ask it to overplot the UKIDSS catalog we just got on all of the images. So it's that purple layer. If you want to change that, you can click on the color. But you can see that it found lots more sources than 2MAS found because UKIDSS goes deeper. You can see too that it's found another source right here. So had this been our source in question, the fact that UKIDSS found another source there would be worrisome. We'd need to go get the images and worry about that. But our target is right here. And that's the only target that UKIDSS has within that 2MAS region. It's also the 2MAS object and it's the WISE object there. So that's pretty encouraging. It seems like that source is relatively uncontaminated. You can see that it jumped to that source in the list here. So you can scroll over and see that the JMAG that it got is 14.5. If we go to the 2MAS catalog for that source and scroll over, the JMAG it gets is 14.3. So really, really close. And that's very encouraging because it's getting the same result. If you have a situation in which the J magnitudes and the JH and K from the two surveys are very different, it almost certainly is a situation like this where it hasn't grabbed the right source. So remember, our computer is grabbing just the closest source it can find by position. It's not paying attention to how bright it is or what color it has. It's just getting the closest source. And you can see that UKIDSS finds a lot more sources than 2Mass does. So especially in regions where there's lots and lots of sources, it may very well be that the computer grabbed the closest source but not the correct source. And so this is how you would diagnose what is going on, because you probably have a situation like this where you have a source that 2Mass sees and UKIDSS sees, but whatever it has grabbed is the little source that's to the lower left here in this case. So that's an easy thing that you can do to fix it. To get the images, though, is a little bit more backbreaking. You got to go search on UKIDSS, find the UKIDSS homepage, go to data. What we want is the WIFCAM Science Archive, and then we want get image, and then what we want is 8+, because that's the most current public survey. We want the galactic plane survey, and then you can put in the right ascension and declination of the specific target you care about. It won't recognize the names that we've been using, and ask for all of the data that it has. So let's go back over here just for fun and get the right ascension and declination that it has here. Put in, let's get it like that. Okay, submit. So it's going to go and hopefully grab little chunks of sky around that target. Okay, so it found the JH&K images. Let's go. There, it found that. You can download the FITS file, and then you can either you can also download the small images here. You can say, I just want the current target and I want the FITS files. That way you can have them all in your local disk, and you can load them all into DS9, or you can load them back into URSA Viewer. So this particular Finder Chart interface doesn't have a good provision for adding additional images, because it is set up to have all the images of the same chunk of sky from these predefined surveys. So if you want to view the image, you can either look at their version of it here, or you can download the FITS file and get it into DS9 or URSA Viewer and look at it next to these other images. But you have to go and get the JH&K separately here and download them to disk, or look at them at the screen and try to figure out what's going on. Try to figure out if the match that the computer made by position is really the right match to have made.